So Pinterest is getting into the streaming game.
Yes, they are. The first ever streaming TV show.
The first ever their first ever streaming TV show. So they're collaborating with Tastemade, which Tastemade has its own channel on um the streaming devices platforms.
Platforms,
So
right?
if you have an Amazon Fire Stick or a Roku or something like that, you can access the Tastemade.
Mm.
Um, and they're teaming up with a food influencer. I cannot remember her name right now, but she's going to be doing a 10-episode series, and again, it's going to be in conjunction with Pinterest and Tastemade. So where whatever you use to stream, you can download the Tastemade app, and it'll be something that you can watch there. And apparently, Pinterest has a long-term plan to get more involved in things that go beyond the Pinterest app. So
Okay.
I think this is really cool, really interesting. And I also think this speaks to a different side of social media, but I think this also speaks to the fact that people in this day and age are looking for innovative ways to generate revenue and looking for ways to um, create unique ideas. Because we're living in a time where, I feel like we're in one of those transitional periods right now where like streaming has been around for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but now we're seeing the apps change a little bit. A lot of them are merging and, figuring out how to do things as these more consolidated units. We're seeing that streaming is now getting live television. So the landscape is changing a bit. Um, we're learning that we're not going to be able to share passwords on most of the apps we like at this
Right.
point. That's gonna be very short lived at this point. So I think that we're in one of those periods where we're transitioning, and the media industry is trying to figure out what's next. And how do you take certain things that kind of have been around for a while now and take them to the next level. So that's what this sounds like with Pinterest. I mean, Pinterest is an app that you go to and you create your boards and you can watch videos, you can find recipes or outfits or whatever you're interested in. I'm sure it's there on Pinterest. You want to look up travel or whatever the case may be. So I think this is pretty cool to kind of take it off the screen, off the page, if you will,
Right.
in a
Off the
matter of
app and onto the big screen.
and onto the big screen. So, and I think we'll see a lot more of this happening with different companies like this. So
Yeah. Her name is Danni Rose. I looked it up
and,
while you were talking, and
yeah,
she is a Black mom entrepreneur, and she's who the show will be with.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I think it's really smart. I think
Hmm.
it's a good way for Pinterest to enter the game, and I'm curious to see what else Pinterest will do. I'm curious to see how successful this show will be, and what type of shows it may springboard off of this.
Yeah.
Because perhaps other conglomerates will see this and say, "Okay, time to do something similar," or perhaps Pinterest will say, "Now we, like you said, a long-term plan where this about to be our jam for a minute, for a while. We about to do this right here."
Hmm.
And yeah, streaming has taken a lot of different twists and turns, and today is extremely popular. Uh, I saw a clip of Kai Cenat saying that he streams for 8 hours a day most of the time. That's a lot of time. Yeah, he was on. It doesn't matter where he was on, but he was asked how long he streams on average. He says, "I try to do at least 7 to 8 hours a day." That's a lot. So that's a different ball game right there. And to take that, monetize that, and use it to your company's advantage for leverage is really smart, and a really smart way for them to enter um, a new arm of the industry, because they're in the entertainment and media industry already, but this is a whole different lane for Pinterest. So it's really smart. Slightly different. Amazon has something going on with Mr. Beast. And that's what this made me think about. It is different. It's not a streaming show. It's like a challenge type of show because that's one of the things he's popular for
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube. And so they'll be doing challenges on a big scale and people will win prizes. But another famous person from YouTube and from that type of realm is getting TV money now, and I think that's really cool.
That is,
So I'm always in favor of creators getting big checks, big looks, and doing big things. So I think it's pretty fly for her, for Danny Rose, and for Mr. Beast, even though they're different. But they both come from these apps. You know what I mean?
I gotta be honest. I
Yes.
didn't know who Mr. Beast was until I started following Keith Lee.
Ah, okay.
And I know that Mr. Beast
He's
is
like the
an
number one YouTuber.
influencer. Yeah, I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, I think he has like 21 million subscribers or more. I think
Yeah,
that number might be too low, actually.
I had no idea who this person was, and I think Keith Lee was trying to get him to collaborate with him at one point. Like this was like over a year ago,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Who is that?" And honestly, even then, I didn't look the person up.
Oh yeah, he's huge. I actually learned
So
of Mr. Beast through the news because he opened a burger joint in a Jersey mall, and his fans came and completely shut down the Jersey mall to get these
okay.
burgers. And I was like, what? The headline was like YouTuber and his fans shut down mall. And I was like, ooh, that's wild. How did that happen? I thought it was a riot. I'm thinking like, oh man, the purge? Wow. No, burgers.
It's
His
like when
fans
Tyson
wanted his
Nat went to,
burgers.
oh my gosh. It's like when Tyson Nat went to Union Square.
Yeah, but way worse because we're talking about an entire mall filled with his fans from all over the world. People were flying in to come get this burger. Not even because it was a great burger, just because it was his burger joint.
Oh, because
And it
I was
was
about
like the
to ask,
opening.
because I'm a foodie. I'm like, ooh, what kind of burger?
Oh, I have no idea. But he's got all type of brand deals. I was in Wawa's one day and there was like the Mr. B so and so at the counter. I was like, my man got snacks. This is crazy.
Yeah, so I've seen, okay, so since then, I have been
Yeah,
enlightened.
you tapped in now. Now
Right.
you
So
can't
now,
unsee it.
now I know because they did end up doing a collaboration. So I think at one point Keith Lee reviewed some of Mr. Beast's food items.
Oh,
But
okay. Yep.
but I've been in Walgreens and I've seen Mr. Beast chocolate bars and I said,
Yep.
"Oh,
Hmm.
okay, this person is very popular." And
Yeah, he's
apparently
like like I'm not exaggerating when I say he's the
no,
number
I
one
know.
YouTuber. Like
I know. I wasn't always hip, so I
I
didn't.
got
I,
you.
I didn't want to sit up here and lie and act like Mr. Beast was like really on my radar like that because he wasn't. But I
Right.
do. I do know. I am aware of him now, and I know. I know what um his impact is. But I just thought that was really interesting, and I
Yeah.
think it's. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that we were like teenagers and young adults, and who knew that anybody was going to be able to make money off of like their personalities and this is the weird thing, right? Because we started a conversation about some of the bad things about social media and about you know people on the internet, but then there's also this other side to it that's actually pretty cool and pretty
That's
interesting.
why that's why I said we should cover that one instead of some of our other topics we had.
Yeah, and
Balance.
it's created lanes for people that we didn't know would ever exist.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool, but
It
you
is
know,
very cool. Shout out to Pinterest and Danny Rose. Black History happening on Black History Month.
we love it. We love it.